What's up, basketball fans? Welcome to the Viraj Report. It's time to talk about the Toronto Raptors because there are rumors linking several teams to Pascal Siakam as we keep hearing these rumors. But there was a report out there which suggests an offer the Pacers may have talked to the Raptors about. So I'm going to be discussing that as well as the other Eastern Conference team, a new team that seems to be interested in Pascal Siakam. So if you're ready to watch this video, guys, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you wish to hit the subscribe button, that'd be very much appreciated. So make sure to hit the subscribe button as well. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. Now, as you guys know, I do like to give out shout outs on my channel, and the shout out for today's video goes out to Teacher Dave 27. So thank you so much for supporting this channel through your likes and comments. It is very much appreciated. Now, shout out to Rap City on Instagram that was reporting Indiana's best offer for Pascal Siakam could, again, keyword could include Buddy Hield, Andrew Nembhard, Aaron Nesmith, Jalen Smith, and a protected 2024 first-round pick. This was being reported by Jake Weinbach. And he also said that the Raptors and the Pacers have had dialogue about a Pascal Siakam trade. However, Indiana has not been willing to include Andrew Nembhard in trade talks, which is a piece Toronto is interested in. Now, honestly speaking, this isn't a bad package, but this is obviously not the best package for the Toronto Raptors in return for Pascal Siakam. And I understand many people's concern is going to be, well, he's an expiring contract. This is a great offer. And look, I'm not arguing that this is a great offer. This is not a great offer, excuse me, but you could definitely get a lot better. If I'm the Raptors, I'm obviously asking for a little bit more. And you look at some of these players, Andrew Nembhard is great. Aaron Nesmith, Jalen Smith, is realistically, those are role players you're getting. So you're essentially getting two role players, a young player who's got potential, and then you got Buddy Hield, who we know is a great three-point shooter and a first-round pick as well. We don't know the protection on that. Personally, from the Raptors, I know this seems ludicrous. I want a piece like Benedict Mathurin or Jarris Walker as a starting piece. Again, I repeat, a starting piece. Masai Ujiri has constantly stated when talking about even OG Anunoby trades, going back to the trade deadline, he doesn't want 3 or 4 first-round picks for guys like OG or Pascal. He wants younger players, and there's a reason why. Those picks don't mean anything because they're so far into the future. You'd rather have prospects that are in the NBA or at least have had one season under their belt or are, just coming in the case of Jarris Walker, who are very intriguing prospects. Because with those first-round picks, you obviously have to take into consideration the protection. You also don't know exactly where it's going to land and what players will be available. So, again, if I'm the Raptors, I'm personally starting that off, and it has been reported Andrew Nembhard. Now, for those who are wondering why the Raptors really want Andrew Nembhard, he's a 23-year-old. He's 6'5". He's a Canadian kid. He's a point guard. He averaged 9.5 points, 4.5 assists in 27 minutes, shot the three-point ball really well. But this was also a player the Raptors had worked out before ultimately selecting Christian Koloko in about two draft classes ago, excuse me. Of course, they didn't get the chance to draft Andrew Nembhard because we know the Indiana Pacers took him before the Raptors even got a chance to pounce on him. And I clearly think the Raptors had very high interest in Andrew Nembhard. And you can see why. He's a very interesting prospect. Again, he gives you a lot more size. 6'5" point guard in this time and age and modern NBA is great. But I do want to talk about the salary situation as well. So let's take a look at the Pacers salary cap situation, and let's talk about some of the pieces that could be coming back for the Toronto Raptors. Now, of course, the name that was mentioned was Buddy Hield, an understandable $19.2 million. You need to throw his fat contract in there to come close to Pascal Siakam's $38 million contract. Another player I'm looking at, personally speaking, TJ McConnell. It makes a lot of sense because he's making a lot of money. I also just believe he's such a pesky defender. He would be great for the Raptors, but you could also just flip him as well. He's not a contract that's very hard to trade. He would be a very tradable contract. Now, this is where it gets tricky. Whether you want Jarris Walker or Benedict Mathurin, which is what I think the Raptors should absolutely be persistent on, and you take those salaries into consideration. At the moment, you have about, again, that's including TJ McConnell in this deal. You have approximately, if my math we know is terrible, that comes to about $28 million. So you need another $10 million. So either way, look, you got Benedict Mathurin or Jarris Walker, both making around $6 million. So that adds another, we got about, after adding one of those players, you need about $4 million more. And I think at that point, you can look at other guys as well. Isaiah Jackson would not be a bad add by any means as well. So again, you have one of Benedict Mathurin, Jarris Walker, and then you got some other pieces, younger pieces you can throw in there as well. I think it would be nice if the Raptors could get a first-round pick. Now, the initial offer that, again, we don't know if this offer was made. It did state it could be what, this package could be surrounded by. There's just certain names thrown out. I think Andrew Nembhard would be amazing for the Raptors. Obviously, getting someone like a Benedict Mathurin would be absolutely fabulous for a return for Pascal Siakam. Even Jarris Walker would be amazing. You're losing a power forward. Yes, we do have Scotty Barnes, but Jarris Walker isn't a bad player at all. And it'd be really exciting for the Raptors to get him as well. I think the Indiana Pacers have a lot of young, attractive pieces they could offer the Raptors. Now, I do want to state, obviously, the talks have stalled because the Pacers, that was likely their minimum offer. You don't start off with the best offer. That's how negotiations work in the NBA and any sports when you look at it. You don't start off talking trades and offering your best players in a trade. You slowly build up. You give a role players, you give a pick or so, and then you start building up your offer. And of course, the Raptors as well, they're not just going to trade Pascal Siakam for nothing. They're definitely going to be asking a lot in return, even though he is an expiring contract. And look, if I'm looking at this from a Pacers point of view, you got Miles Turner at the 1, or excuse me, Miles Turner at the 5. You got Pascal Siakam as your power forward. Then you got Tyrese at the 1, and you got some really, really interesting pieces you could work with there. So you got those 3 guys there. That is a really, I don't want to call it a big 3, but those are some really nice players to have. And I think Tyrese and Pascal would absolutely complement each other's game as well. Now, in terms of these rumors, guys, I do want to say that we keep hearing these rumors every day. I would hate to see Pascal Siakam get traded as a Raptors fan, but I think it's very likely it's going to happen. I mean, there's just been an insane amount of trade talks surrounding Pascal Siakam, and it's not just as if it's 1 or 2 reporters reporting this. We're hearing new rumors every single day, and I know a lot of Raptors fans don't want to see this, and I don't want to see it either if you're personally asking me, but I think if you're talking about, moving forward, Scotty and OG, I think this is the most logical thing to do. I don't like this. I know fans are going to be frustrated, including myself, when Pascal Siakam does get traded. I just think you have Scotty Barnes here, you have OG Anunoby, and it just salary wise, it's not going to work. But I just think I just don't know how that's going to work in terms of spacing issue as well. So again, I would love for the Raptors to have Pascal and Scotty work with each other, but then OG wants a bigger role as well. So I don't know how that's going to work. It's very complicated, the salary situation as well, because of the new CBA rules as well. But let's talk about the Eastern Conference team that was also being rumored to be interested in Pascal Siakam. Now, shout out to Raptors Update that was reporting the Orlando Magic is a team worth watching as trade speculations continue for Pascal Siakam. Now, I'm going to be straight up and truthfully honest with you. I don't see how or why the Magic would want him. You got Paolo Banchero there at the power forward position. Obviously, they're not giving him up for a trade in Pascal Siakam return. So essentially, you got him there. You got Wendell Carter Jr. at your 5. So where are you going to fit Pascal Siakam into that? It's going to be a lot of question marks. And obviously, they do have, don't get me wrong, the Orlando Magic do have very young pieces in Anthony Black they just drafted. You can throw in Jed Howard as well, who could be someone that the Raptors may want. He could be a floor spacer. And then, of course, you got guys like Jalen Suggs. You also got someone like Franz Wagner. I always mix up the two, Mo or Franz Wagner. Franz Wagner, excuse me. I believe he's the younger one that's drafted in the same draft class as Scotty Barnes. Excellent three-point shooter. He could be a very interesting piece that Raptors may want in return as well. But just overall, talking about prospects, I just don't really see a deal getting done here, even if the Raptors were to trade Pascal. And it just, I don't know, this team from the Orlando Magic point of view, in terms of what you would get in return, not saying they have bad assets by any means, I just don't see a trade happening there. So I think if the Raptors do trade Pascal Siakam, they're looking for I want to use it's almost like how we play video games, a class S, if you want to call it, a ranked prospect like Benedict Mather and Jarris Walker. That's what I personally would want in return. But I'm very curious to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts on this? What would you want in return from Pascal Siakam from the Indiana Pacers? So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And as always, I do have a trivia question for you today. And that trivia question is, which of the Pacers players listed below is Canadian? Is it A, Andrew Nembhard? Is it B, Jalen Smith? Is it C, Isaiah Jackson? Or is it D, Ben Shepherd? So whoever answers this trivia question correctly first in the comment section gets a shout out in my next video, guys. So if you're still watching this video, thank you so much for watching this video. And I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.